Everybody knows the world ain't right. Down on your knees, get up and fight.
G'day, Rockhound here. There's been an interesting development about the upcoming survival shooter game Dead Matter. A day or two ago, the streamer known as Clean made these comments about the game during his Twitch stream.
An alpha yet. It's still pre-alpha. There's still tons of optimization. There's still tons of feature changes that they have to do. New features, stuff like that. There's a ton more stuff that they got to do. But it's shaping up very, very nicely, and I'm very, very excited for it. I think it's going to be quite good. I think it's just going to be a nice, fun, open-world survival game. Closed alpha should be hitting sometime this year. Probably within the next 2-3 months is my guess. Likely latest at the end of summer, at the latest, but it should be hitting pretty soon. But I'm pretty hyped for it, man.
Understandably, these remarks about the closed alpha coming in the next few months, maybe as late as the end of the Northern Hemisphere summer, came as somewhat of a shock to those watching the stream who were also members of the Dead Matter Discord, because the mods and devs in the Discord have said over and over for the last few months that June is concrete for the closed alpha. In fact, if you actually search for the word concrete in the Dead Matter Discord, you'll find over 25 pages of that word being used, mostly by mods since February, in response to anyone asking if there will be a 5th delay to the closed alpha. That's right, you heard me right, a 5th delay. Dead Matter has seen more than its fair share of delays in development. Originally, the game was scheduled to hit closed alpha testing way back in February 2018. However, it was delayed to March 2019, then again to the end of summer 2019, then again to March 2020, and then for a 4th time to June 2020. As I mentioned in a recent video where I compared Dead Matter to DayZ, Scum and Deadside, delays like this are not uncommon, especially with smaller independent development studios as they try to overcome development issues with limited resources. However, delays can erode the confidence of the players who have backed the game prior to access, as well as those who are considering backing the game. However, up until now, it seems that the majority of Dead Matter's backers have been very supportive of the delays, saying they'd prefer the game to be good rather than on time. Anyhow, perhaps we could just say that Clean might be wrong, and that the June closed alpha is going to go ahead as planned. However, since Clean's comments, there's been a noticeable change within the Dead Matter Discord. Namely, there hasn't been a single occasion where the mods and the devs from QI Software have confirmed that the pre-alpha will actually start in June, which they were happily doing previously. Instead, the only comments that have been made by them now say that players should wait for the upcoming announcement about the alpha. All of this doesn't bode that well for the closed alpha starting in June. In fact, I'll go as far as saying that the fact no one on the dev team is denying Clean's comments essentially says that a delay of some kind is almost guaranteed. So if that is the case, should players be concerned? My answer is yes and no. Firstly, and this speaks to my previous comments that I've made about Dead Matter's marketing and PR, I think backers should definitely be concerned that part of Dead Matter's PR approach was to have mods in the Discord saying that June is concrete, when it apparently is not. This essentially erodes trust in what the devs and mods say. If June isn't concrete, then what else isn't concrete? Again, I believe that the dev team really needs to step up their marketing and PR game, and that this would best be done by hiring an experienced marketing manager. After all, concrete can be dangerous, especially if it isn't set. Secondly, if the game isn't ready for backers to play, then it should definitely be delayed until it has reached a playable level that backers will be satisfied with. No one's going to mind a few bugs here and there, but we need to make sure that it meets expectations. After all, who wants to jump into a game, even in an alpha state, that really lets down your expectations? I definitely don't, and I'd far rather be let down by waiting longer than be let down by jumping into a game that's not what I expected. Those that have followed my channel for a while now will know that when the failed Battle Royale game Mavericks Proving Grounds first started what was essentially a pre-alpha closed test, the game's content was way below what players expected. There was only a couple of guns in the game, the environment was pretty sparsely filled with content, and there was very little to do in the game. Unfortunately, the massive letdown of those features completely overshadowed one of the features that the game had done technically very well, and that was the scaling. On the first day of Mavericks testing, the servers had literally hundreds of players on the map at one time with little to no performance issues. It was amazingly good at scale, but no one noticed that achievement because the game was so underdone from a content point of view. Now with Dead Matter, I think those issues might be almost reversed. We've already seen plenty of great footage of detailed buildings, guns, loot items, forests and so on. All of those things look very promising, but what we haven't seen is the game being played at scale, either from a networked multiplayer perspective or from an AI spawning perspective. We haven't seen any gameplay with more than a handful of players on the servers, and every time we've seen zombies in the game so far, they've been placed into the environment already in modest numbers, or there was a fog present so it potentially looked like they'd spawned in, but they were actually already placed in a location and probably just standing around. Zombie AI are going to have a significant load on the server. They need to be moving around, they need to have raycasts which essentially let them know if their line of sight has intersected with you as a player, and they need to have hearing checks to tell them if they've heard you. All of these features are likely to be pretty taxing on the server, and we're really yet to see any of those features operating fully in the game, but they are all significant core elements of the game. So, how would Dead Matter's devs know if the game is handling these things well or not? Isn't that what closed alpha testing is for, you might ask? Again, answering that question at the closed alpha stage would be a real problem if the game wasn't currently handling those things well, because many backers would just leave after a few hours due to their disappointment, and then you lose most of your testers. This is the exact problem that Scum suffered when it went into early access and has still not recovered from over a year and a half later, with peak players for Scum currently sitting around 5,000 compared to almost 70,000 when the game first became available to play. Bad alphas can hurt a game a lot. So, what might be the solution that QI Software has to avoid that situation? Well, I have a theory, and that's based on a couple of facts, and if I'm right, it should hopefully give you some pause for your concerns about any further delay to Dead Matter's closed alpha. Firstly, around the same time that Clean commented about the delay, he also happened to show that he has access to a pre-alpha build of Dead Matter through Steam's launcher. Now in the last day or two, it's been announced that Dead Matter's closed alpha will be accessed through Steam instead of QI Software's own launcher. And in the image that Clean showed, we can just see that Clean first played Dead Matter on April 6, and since then, he's played a total of 18 hours in the game. Now that's a reasonable amount of time for a busy guy like him to be playing the game. Surely he can't be the only person playing it though, and doing pre-alpha testing. And that leads me to my second bit of info that I think is significant. As part of QI Software's PR for Dead Matter, they have teamed up with around 80 content creators. These are mostly YouTubers and streamers. Now the partner program is under an NDA and it allows content creators early access to info as well as opportunities for interviews and the like with the devs. Now I'm not a QI partner as I've only started creating content about Dead Matter in the last month or so, and the program is currently closed to new applications. But one thing I found slightly puzzling about the program is that lots of streamers are QI partners. Now those guys have a closed alpha which will be under NDA to wait through, maybe with just the odd opportunity to share any info or have an interview with the devs during their streams. So what's the point of having streamers on board at this stage of development? Well, if there were closed pre-alpha tests at scale currently taking place for Dead Matter, who would be better to have on board for that than streamers and YouTubers? They have a vested interest in the game succeeding because they want to create content for it. They can generally be trusted to keep the information under their hat because they wouldn't want to risk their partnership relationship with QI Software, and most of them are going to be competent players. If I'm correct on this, then I think not only is this a very clever way to approach testing for the game prior to the closed alpha, but if the QI partners have given feedback to the devs that they think the game isn't ready for backer consumption, then the most mature approach from the devs would simply be to listen to that feedback and delay the closed alpha until both the devs and the QI partners think it's ready. You only get one chance to impress the backers with the game, even at a closed alpha level, and the annoyance around a delay is far better than having players leave in droves because they don't like the game, like they did with Scum. I would thoroughly support the devs choosing to delay if these are the reasons. That would be best for the game in the long run and best for everybody, even if you have to, again, wait longer. Do you think I'm right on this? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Kia kaha, stay strong.
Everybody sees, stop and bright, last one to leave, turn out the light, last one to leave.